Rediscovering the Human Touch, a story of lost and found connection. Chapter 1. The Sterile World. Dr. Emily Chen had forgotten what human skin felt like. Not literally, of course. As an emergency room physician at Metropolitan General, she touched patients constantly, checking pulses, examining wounds, inserting IVs. But somewhere along the way, her hands had become instruments rather than extensions of herself. Every touch was clinical, protected by latex barriers, measured and purposeful. The realization hit her on a Tuesday morning when 8-year-old Miguel Rodriguez was brought in after falling from his bike. As Emily examined his scraped knee, the boy reached out and grabbed her gloved hand. "It hurts," he whispered, not talking about the wound but about something deeper. The fear in his eyes, the way his small body trembled. Emily felt an impulse she hadn't experienced in years. She wanted to hold his hand properly, to offer comfort through simple human contact. Instead, she pulled away gently and reached for antiseptic wipes. "We'll fix you right up," she said in her practiced professional voice, but the words felt hollow. Later, during her break, Emily sat in her car and tried to remember the last time she'd truly connected with another human being through touch. Not the perfunctory handshakes at medical conferences, not the quick hugs with colleagues after difficult cases, but real touch. The kind that communicated what words couldn't. The answer scared her. She couldn't remember. Chapter 2. The Awakening. The turning point came 3 weeks later when Emily's own world cracked open. Her father, Professor David Chen, suffered a massive stroke while lecturing at the university. Emily rushed to the hospital where she'd worked for 7 years, but this time she was on the other side of the curtain. Watching her father lie unconscious, tubes snaking from his body, Emily reached for his hand without thinking. The moment their skin touched, her palm against his fingers, something electric passed between them. His eyes fluttered open, and for just a moment he squeezed back. "The nurses tell me talking helps," Emily said, feeling awkward. She was used to being the one giving updates to families, not receiving them. "Even if you can't respond, you might hear me." But it wasn't words that seemed to reach him. When Emily held his hand and told him about her day, his heart rate monitor showed more stability than during the hours she'd sat beside his bed talking about his condition and prognosis. Dr. Sarah Martinez, the attending neurologist and Emily's longtime friend, noticed the difference immediately. "There's research showing that meaningful touch can accelerate recovery," Sarah mentioned during one of Emily's visits. "Skin-to-skin contact releases oxytocin, reduces cortisol, even helps with pain management. But it has to be intentional touch, not just clinical contact." Emily realized she'd spent years perfecting clinical contact while forgetting entirely about healing touch. Chapter 3. The experiment inspired by her father's response, Emily began what she privately called her touch experiment. She started small, asking patients if she could hold their hand while explaining procedures or delivering difficult news. The response was immediate and profound. Mrs. Williams, a 72-year-old woman with pneumonia, stopped crying when Emily sat beside her and held her weathered hand while explaining the treatment plan. "Nobody's just sat with me in weeks," she whispered. "My children are so busy and the other doctors are always rushing." James, a construction worker with a broken arm, initially tensed when Emily asked if she could place her hand on his shoulder while examining his injury. But when she did, removing her gloves first, his entire body relaxed. "I was trying to be tough," he admitted, "but I was scared it was worse than you were telling me." Emily discovered that touch was a language she'd forgotten how to speak. Each patient taught her something new about its dialects. The firm, confident touch that said, "You're in good hands." The gentle, comforting touch that said, "You're not alone." The steady, grounding touch that said, "This will pass." The celebratory touch, a squeeze of triumph that said, "We did it together." Chapter 4. Beyond the Hospital. The changes in Emily's professional life began bleeding into her personal world. She found herself hugging her sister Anna longer when they met for coffee, actually feeling the embrace instead of going through the motions. "You're different," Anna observed during one of their weekly meetings. "More present." Emily understood what she needed and was not willing to let it go. "Enjoy your day,"